Now we are moving to Moore, that is after Russell. Now, George Edward Moore, contemporary British philosopher, Moore defends the belief of common sense and refutes idealism. Why did he defend common sense? Now, it was to remove the complexities created by idealists as well as skeptics in practical life and in field of philosophy. In the due course of establishing their theories, the idealists had to support many concepts which were against our common sense. Now, views before Moore. Berkeley accepted the concept of SAS percipi, that is, which implied that matter does not exist. Hume rejected outrightly the existence of matter and self. Hegel, space and time have no objective reality, the absolute is only reality and it manifests itself as the world. Now, according to Moore, such thoughts make philosophy, science, as well as practical life impossible. In order to refute idealism, he used two methods: practical critique by defending common sense, and analytical method, that is the linguistic method. Now, Moore's defense of common sense, meaning of common sense. Moore has neither defined common sense nor clearly explained it. Moore has not accepted the dictionary meaning of common sense, that is, the ability to think about things in practical way and make sensible decisions. We have to deduce Moore's definition of common sense as certain beliefs which are shared by all human beings or a group of human beings, for his example, which were proposed to defend common sense. Now, such examples are: I know that there exists at present a living body which is my body. This body was much smaller when it was born than it is now. The body has continued to exist since its birth, though certain changes have taken place. The earth has existed many years before my body was born, and on this earth there are other human beings and objects. The other statement is that this the statement B: I have different experiences regarding myself and other objects regarding other human beings. Now, in the list too, we find another example, that is, other persons also have similar experiences, that is, belief and knowledge, as I have. By examining both the lists, we conclude that material things exist. The earth exists, I exist, and other human beings exist. We have consciousness. Space and time are real. Now, characteristics of common sense. Common sense beliefs are those which are accepted by almost all. However, cannot accept popular beliefs as common beliefs because they are imposed from outside. For example, the belief in God. Now, common sense beliefs are related to this world. They are true from the beginning but not refuted so far. For example, the earth exists. On the basis of these beliefs, we regulate our lives successfully. We naturally accept these beliefs and never demand any proof. Common sense beliefs are not necessarily true because they can't be accepted as analytical. Now, arguments in favor of our common sense. Arguments from universal acceptance: certain beliefs which are accepted by all persons who are of normal health and understanding. For example, I exist, others exist, and the earth exists. Arguments from compulsive acceptance. If we don't accept these universal beliefs, life would become impossible. Everyone is bound to accept the statement, water quenches thirst. Whether idealists or realists, they will accept this argument. Now, arguments from common sense, that is, sense experience. Sense experience proves arguments from external objects. Knowledge of an object is not sense experience. We are having sense experience because of the existence of objects. For example, this table exists. Now, arguments related to dream experience. In this method of doubt, Descartes has doubted on external objects through his dream argument. Moore says that the term dream itself is a relative one. Without accepting actual experience, we cannot explain the term dream. So, dream itself supports the existence of external objects. Dreams may also be true. For example, while I'm standing, I fall asleep. I start dreaming that I'm standing. Arguments based on strong convictions. Common sense beliefs are based on firm conviction. They are necessary part of our lives. For example, if I don't believe that I have no two hands, I should not use them also. Now, arguments based on inconsistencies. Moore identifies two kinds of inconsistencies with arguments supported by idealists, logical and pragmatic. For example, idealists say that we cannot prove the existence of others' mind. According to Moore, the term we proves that there are other beings other than oneself. So it is inconsistent. Again, some idealists say that space and time are not real, but they themselves accept it for all actions. If time is unreal, the distinction is impossible between morning and noon. Now, criticisms. Although Moore has defended common sense belief, he has neither defined nor explained it properly. In the process of defending common sense, he uses common sense in an uncommonsensical way. The arguments from compulsive acceptance and strong convictions are overlapping. Moreover, Moore arguments are not philosophically sound. It's probable that beliefs based on common sense may get refuted in future. According to Wittgenstein, common sense beliefs are self-proved and there is no need to provide arguments in their support. Though Wittgenstein accepts Moore's conclusion, he adopts a critical stance towards its method. Now, Moore's refutation of idealism, the analytical method. Now, Moore defends the belief of common sense and refutes idealism so as to remove the complexities created by idealists and skeptics in the practical life as well as in the field of philosophy. He says that though esse est percipi, that is to be perceived, is not the foundation of idealism, it is an inevitable part of idealism, like one of the links in a chain. No idealists can make conclusions without touching this premise. So Moore believes that if we weaken this link to of this link be proved, then conclusion based on idealism turns absurd. Moore adopts the analytical approach to disprove the validity of esse est percipi, that is to be perceived. Moore believes that the copula plays the crucial role in interpreting the meaning of this sentence. First interpretation is complete identity. Second interpretation is a partial identity for is. Third interpretation is separate and yet they necessarily relate for is. Now, for the first interpretation of est, complete identity between to be and to be perceived, or simply subject equal predicate, which is subject becomes synonymous with predicate. According to Moore, tautological statements are devoid of actual content. For proving the theory of existence, tautologies are useless. Second interpretation, partial identity to be and to be perceived. It is also an analytical proposition. To be is something over to be perceived. This implies that existence can be proved by something other than experience also. But according to idealists, experience can only provide knowledge of existence. Third interpretation, to be and to be perceived are separate and yet they necessarily relate. If predicate is not contained in the subject, then the statement becomes synthetic. If there is a necessary and universal relation between to be and to be perceived, then esse est percipi becomes analytical. Those statements can be analytical and synthetic at the same time. Thus, to be is to be perceived becomes contradictory. Now, criticisms. If Berkeley is subjective idealist, then Moore's criticisms are relevant, but after accepting God as the ultimate ground of ideas, Berkeley turns out to be an objective idealist. So Moore's criticism is incomplete. Plato and Hegel have accepted idealism without accepting esse est percipi. It contradicts Moore's claim that esse est percipi is an essential link in idealism. While refuting the third interpretation of esse est percipi, Moore claims that synthetic arguments can never be necessarily true. But Kant's theory of possibility of synthetic a priori judgment contradicts Moore's claims. W.T. states that as idealism is unproved, realism is also unproved. We have to prove realism by showing that there are some things that are not objects of anyone's mind and yet they exist. But it is simply impossible to provide an example regarding this. We cannot prove the existence of external objects by transcending our consciousness. If none has experienced an object other than his ideas, it is impossible to prove that the object exists. Therefore, realism cannot be proved. That'll be all for more. We'll be starting with Russell in the next video.